If you're in the market for an external display for your iPad Air or iPad Pro and you're wondering if the Studio Display from Apple will fit that bill, you are in the right place, because in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the Studio Display is the best display on the market, hands down, to pair with your iPad. Let's get started. Starting with number 5 is the fact that you can connect any M1 or M2 iPad to your Studio Display using a single Thunderbolt cable. The Thunderbolt cable will not only charge your iPad at a whopping 96 watts, but it also transfers audio and video over the included 1 meter braided cable, allowing for a super clean, minimal setup that doesn't have the desk clutter that you normally associate with having maybe a Thunderbolt dock or even a display that has HDMI or DisplayPort, because you have all those dongles that are going to be sitting on your desk. And no one likes looking at that. Ugh, no thanks. You probably are not sold on the fact that the Studio Display is worth $1,599 just because it has a single Thunderbolt 3 cable, because many third-party monitors use Thunderbolt 3 as the interface, including the ultrafine 4K and 5K displays from LG, all of which are much less expensive than the $1,599 price tag from Apple for the Studio Display. But it's time to sit back and relax, because if number 5 didn't have you pulling out your credit card to purchase a Studio Display, number 4 surely will, and that is the fact that all monitors are calibrated at the factory for high color accuracy. Apple individually calibrates every Studio Display before it leaves the factory to ensure that each display narrowly conforms with the supported color profiles, allowing for high color accuracy and display brightness. This makes the Studio Display ideal for anyone who's looking for high color accuracy, meaning that the images that you see on your screen are going to closely reflect the images that you see in real life because they are calibrated that way, but also that they have high color fidelity, allowing the images to closely align and conform with standards such as DCI-P3. And then when you factor in that the Studio Display can hit amazing 600 nits of brightness for a standard HD display, now I think that the difference between the Studio Display and the competition is night and day. But maybe you are still on the fence with whether or not the Studio Display is worth the $1,599. If you are, let's enter number 3, and that is going to be pixel density. Now, new in iPadOS 16 is the ability to use your supported iPad to change the display resolution up to 3 different levels. You have the standards level, which is how your iPad comes configured out of the box. You have the second level, which is going to give you more of a focus on content with bigger text size and bigger app icons, but then you also have more space, which gives you smaller text, smaller icons, and really gives you a larger working canvas. Now, Display Zoom is a feature that can not only be configured on your iPad, but you can also configure that for the external monitor as well, and the Studio Display is no different. You can change the display level zoom independently from your iPad, so you could have maybe a bigger canvas on your iPad, but in a smaller canvas on your external display. But the difference is with the Studio Display is that when you scale those resolutions down, they're coming in at a pixel-perfect display resolution of 218 pixels per inch. The picture why the Studio Display is the perfect companion for your iPad starts to get very clear. So not only are you getting a display that can connect to your iPad using a single Thunderbolt 3 cable, the Studio Display is highly color accurate, it is also very bright, and it supports display resolutions up to 5K with pixel preciseness. But maybe you still are not on board of hashtag Team Studio Display. Well, number 2 is going to get you there, I promise. Integration is not only the act of combining multiple things, but also to the degree of integration that seemingly disparate pieces act and function as one, and the Studio Display is a first-class citizen. There's a concept that where a product or service can be either best in class or best in breed. And what I like to think of this as having a single neck to choke. Let me explain. When you think about Apple and their role in computing, they are the primary integrator, so they are responsible for making sure that everything works well together with their devices in their ecosystem. And they are financially incentivized to differentiate their own products from the products from their competitors, and you see the Apple doing that. Now, if this doesn't ring a bell, you can think about using your AirPods with your iPhone or your iPad, which is a much different experience when you use AirPods with maybe an Android phone or even your PC. There is that integration and the cohesiveness that Apple really is their bread and butter, which differentiates the user experience. So when you plug in your Studio Display into your iPad, these products are designed from the very outset to work well together, and they have a high degree of integration, and they should work smoothly. And you won't necessarily have that guarantee when you're using a monitor from another company. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, you're probably pretty close to pulling the trigger on the Studio Display. Now, what I do have is I have another video, which is 5 reasons why the Studio Display is not the best partner for the iPad, which I'll link in the cards above here, which you should watch before buying it. Now, I've given you 4 solid reasons why the Studio Display is the best companion for your M1 or M2 iPad, iPad Pro, iPad Air. It doesn't really matter. It's a great companion in my opinion. But the last reason is the creme de la creme, and I think it's going to be the nail in the coffin, which is really going to push you over the line into getting the Studio Display for your iPad. and that is speaker quality. The Studio Display has 4 woofers and 2 tweeters, and when connected to your iPad or even any other Mac, it does create a soundstage with minimal distortion, and it's probably the best I've heard for stand or speakers on a display itself. But let's have a listen and you tell me what you think.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and let's get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up.
Now, data without context is really meaningless, so let's contrast the sound of the Studio Display with that of the Ultrafine 5K.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and let's get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip.
Now, hear me out when I say this. I think that this difference in between the Studio Display speakers and the Ultrafine 5K, which have a kind of a very similar price point, $1299 to $1599, is like hearing mono and stereo. The Studio Display speakers sound very full, very robust in comparison to the LG Ultrafine 5K. They just sound a little bit tinnier. And the fact is that when you connect your iPad to your Studio Display, you're going to be able to use those speakers and get the most out of it whenever you're using your iPad. Guys, thanks very much for watching my video on why the Studio Display is the best companion for your iPad. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below, and if you are thinking about purchasing it, I do have a video up in the cards above, like I mentioned, which will 5 reasons why it is not the best companion for your iPad. Make sure that you watch that before purchasing it. My name is Mike. Make sure you hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you want to get more content like this. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.